So on Friday, we normally have Korea Unveiled, but instead today we have a very special interview because what's going on with the worrying uptick in the number of new COVID-19 cases and also sort of the discouragement from traveling, rather than talking about a physical destination, we thought we'd explore a journey of the imagination. And our guest today is Beth Lee, someone who would be perfect for guiding us through that. She succeeded in turning a hobby into a business. She's also the founder of 다시곰, or Darcy-gom in English, I guess, a design brand founded with the purpose of promoting the wearability of Hanbok, but with a modern twist. Her unique designs are creative interpretations of the traditional Korean garment, and they've been featured in countless collaborations and in fashion magazines and worn by celebrities like 박나래. So, welcome to the show, Beth.
Hi.
Very good to have you on the show. And I must, first of all, comment on your very striking, what would I say, dress? Is it a dress or
no,
a coat?
it's actually a traditional turumagi.
It's a turumagi,
Yeah,
one
so
of
it's
your
like
own
an
designs.
overcoat, yeah.
But it's very light,
It is.
and you've got colorful tigers printed on it.
Yes, this is actually a brand. There's a brand illustrator called Music Tiger, and they actually create these very cute figures. And I thought it would be kind of cool to actually do a collaboration. So, you mentioned the fact that I do a lot of collaboration. This is actually one of them.
Excellent. It's very nice, and it's brightening up the studio on a
thank you.
rather dreary Friday. All right, so let's get to know you a little bit. First of all, Hanbok, we all know it's beautiful, and it has been sort of in the news recently, so it's being reinterpreted in very modern ways as well. So tell us about your personal journey into the world of Hanbok. As we mentioned, it was a hobby at first. How did it turn into a business as well?
So first it was. Sorry.
A little bit closer to the mic? Yeah.
Okay, so first it was just having fun. I actually wanted to learn how to sew, and that started me through the journey of going through hanbok. So I first wanted to just make the hanbok and then wear it, and then later on I was actually putting things on Instagram, and people started buying this. So I thought,
How old were you when you started
not
making
so-
these hanbok then?
Oh, it's been like 4 or 5 years
That's
now.
it.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
it.
I don't know. How does it compare? Like making a hanbok compared to just like regular, I guess, sort of Western clothing that we usually wear?
Well, I think there's not much of a difference. If you think about it, it's only the difference is the patterns. The Korean ones is more of a flat pattern. When we think about three-dimensional, that's the ones that we wear as like modern outfits. So that's the only difference.
So it's not more difficult?
No, not
whatnot.
really.
And I have to say, I checked out your Instagram and wow, it's calling it a hanbok. It's a little bit of a stretch, I guess, if you're a traditionalist, because you almost deconstruct the hanbok and then you put it together in, I have to say, very exciting ways. It's very fresh.
Awesome.
And I also like what you wrote. It's Korean tradition meets sustainable fashion as well.
Yes.
Can you explain that?
I do weird things. Let's put
Weird
it that
but
way.
wonderful.
Yeah. Well, I would like to use coffee bags, for instance. I used car seats, for instance. Like all the things that I see that are material, those spark and they inspire me to do something different. So that's sort of the way that I do make my outfits. So yeah, so I try to do something that's sustainable because I want to have like the Korean traditional the designs to be more like there because it's actually kind of fading away. A lot of people are wearing more of the Western style.
Yep.
So I thought using more of the sustainable fashion and also try to like make a bit of a longevity in hanbok. That's sort of the idea that I have right now.
I imagine that's like a very synergistic sort of idea, combining, traditional hanbok, but reinterpreting it in a modern way. That's also exciting and sustainable as well. I was very taken by one of your designs that used, I think maybe it was a sign or some sort of, from a very famous Korean food company or something.
Yes, yes.
And I imagine because it's not regular fabric that we use for making clothes, it'd be very difficult to sew. Do you hand sew your creations or do you use a sewing machine?
I use I definitely use sewing machines for that
Okay.
one. And that's actually made out of banners, the one that you're talking about.
Yes.
And in Korean, we call it hyunsumak. And what happened was they just had like bunch left over from a festival and they wanted to do something out of it. So they just contacted me with that. So, and they just like DM'd me and said that they wanted to make an outfit with it. And that's how I did a collaboration with 땡땡.
I imagine the response was pretty explosive to that.
It was, and I got pretty good feedback from a lot of foreign companies as well. So I thought that was okay. That's like one of the photos,
Right.
And some of the magazines, like for instance, that was actually from a Victoria Canada magazine that they actually selected it and said that they wanted to put it on their website. So, yeah.
Right. So our PD Christina has pulled up a photo of the one that I was mentioning with four very cool looking, hip looking models and taken maybe like an ulchid or something. So
Yes.
it blends very well with the background as well. Again, the style of the actual clothing itself, if I just took a look at it, I would not think it's hanbok at all, to be honest, Beth.
Okay.
So how do you sort of differentiate or where do you draw the line between what is hanbok and what is kind of the newer version of a hanbok? Can you draw a line?
I don't think you can. Actually, everything goes in the category of clothing. And if you notice, like the men are actually wearing sapokbaji, which is actually the Korean traditional hanbok pants.
Okay.
And also the girl's actually wearing something that has like a pleated dress, a skirt thing. And there's actually a skirt called mujigi chima, which is a traditional gown underneath like garment thing. So I thought that would kind of look well. It's almost like a tennis skirt.
So you're kind of referring to that kind of multi-tiered
yes,
sort of...
the three-layered one.
It would be like a petticoat that you would wear underneath a traditional hanbok to give it sort of volume.
The poofiness,
but
yeah.
The poofiness, but you've brought it outside. And it looks very trendy, actually. I've seen a lot of... it
thank you.
seems like something that you could see off the runway as well. Now, I understand we kind of name-dropped Pangnare. And we're seeing not only celebrities, but very influential K-pop groups like Blackpink, of course. They went very viral with their
They
sort of
did.
hanbok-inspired look. BTS also, I don't know if they did wear it on stage, but even off stage, their looks kind of led to sold-out hanbok as well. Have you seen an also sort of connected increase in your work as well, in your creations?
I think a lot, well, to be honest, like there's like the hanbok industry and it's a very small industry. So like whatever happens, and if there's a lot of celebrities who are wearing it, the market's bound to burst a little bit bigger. So I think it's always a good idea for like, or it's just like a pleasant thing for celebrities to wear it. It doesn't matter who it is, but it's just like, it's a positive energy for the market.
Let me ask you in more detail then. We're seeing a photo of Pangnare at the 백상 예술대상. Okay,
Yes.
she's holding up a trophy and she is dressed in a very colorful, multicolored creation by yourself.
Yes.
How do you work with someone like Pangnare? How do you get to, I mean, she must be a dream to work with because she is very adventurous with her fashion choice. She's
She
all
is.
over media.
She is.
How did you get to work with her?
She DM'd me.
Just through
Like,
that.
yeah,
she saw
like-
your works on Instagram by
Well, her
chance?
stylist actually DM'd me. It's the same story as Oh Teng Teng.
Okay.
So they DM'd me saying that they wanted to make a meeting and then like, you know, do something with me. Same thing with this one here where her stylist contacted me saying that she wanted to borrow some of my outfits and then this happened. So
What's it like working with her? Have you actually met her? Have you created customized sort of outfits for her? So this was customized.
Yeah, this was pretty customized. Like I actually got her measurements and actually changed the outfit a little bit so that it would actually alter to her outfit. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, there's like signs going back and forth.
That's
Distracted.
fine. And so she's worn your creations on a popular TV show as well. I didn't realize it was yours until I found out through the Instagram as well. So that must be leading to a lot more opportunities. You were your works appeared in a fashion magazine in Canada, as you mentioned,
Yes,
and
yes.
also a French
Spain,
magazine.
France, quite a few these days.
What's the response been?
It's been like, ooh, I didn't know that hanbok could be like this trendy. That's sort of the vibe that I get from a lot of people. So I'm kind of excited, and I'm trying to see what else I can do.
Do you foresee maybe some collaborations with overseas brands?
I would
Ooh.
love to do so. And
Have you received any sort of offers or DMs?
few at the moment. I'm actually working on something, so like maybe like later this year I can actually show something.
Can you mention the brand or at least the first initial? Or-
Oh, Not
No?
yet.
Too secret?
Too secret
All
right now.
Well, we
yeah.
look forward to it, you say, later this year.
Yes.
Meanwhile, let's talk about a challenge, an online challenge that you took part in. We promised our viewers that you can also help us go on sort of like a trip of the mind or imagination. The pillow challenge,
Yes.
Pega challenge. I remember coming across this earlier in the year. I think it was like April or
Yes,
May.
yes.
So this basically consisted of people putting up photos of, I believe, not wearing something, or it looks like they're not wearing anything, but they put a pillow in front of them and then they cinch it at the waist with a wide belt, and then they can dress it up with various accessories. How did you become involved in this?
Well, I think we can all agree that it's been a pretty gloomy 2020 and everybody needed to do something fun and nobody can really go out. So
They had to share it through SNS,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I think everybody was in like that self-quarantine moment and they decided on doing something fun and they can't really do it. So I think of that clubbing mode that they wanted to figure out, I think they just decided on transcending that with doing pillow challenges. So I don't know who started it, but definitely it started, I think, in the US.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure about it. So it started and everybody was having fun. And I thought, okay, that's like something that I can work with. And I said, why don't I just do it with a Korean hint of Koreanness in it? So I said, why don't I use a Korean brocade and also use multicolored striped fabric called sekdong and create some outfits or like pillows. And they said, and I asked like some of my photographer friends and also like models if they wanted to join. And they thought it was like a fun challenge to do so. So I started making pillows and they just, we just like collaborated all together and styled it well. And it like that one, the photo that you're seeing, that was in a French magazine. So
this is the photo that made it into the French magazine.
Yes.
So we're looking at a model doing what we would normally do with a pillow, sort of just embracing it, but it's in a beautiful blue, shiny, and this brocade with a flowery pattern, I guess,
Yes,
on it as well. And you created this, let's say, pillow. You created it as a pillow, or you created it as an outfit? It was meant to be an outfit, or as a pillow?
Well, it's meant to be an outfit, but you can actually use it as a pillow as well.
So there's nothing on the backside, I guess?
There is a fabric in there,
is.
but it's not like, well fitted for this person because and like I think you need a stretchy fabric to make it like cinch and look better. But there is like another fabric so that you can actually wear it.
You
but
could wear it.
But it's definitely you can use it as a pillow.
Again, what's the response been to something like that then? I mean, even Hanbok, your Hanbok, are very sort of, I guess, adventurous, or they're not very traditional. But with this pillow, have you ever received any maybe pushback from the traditional sort of hanbok makers, or?
Well, I don't think they actually thought of that as a hanbok. That's for sure.
Okay.
I was using like Korean traditional fabric for sure, but I wasn't making hanbok. So I think I'm just kind of having fun with the idea of something that's very Korean and meshing it with something that's very popular these days, that's something that's trendy. So for instance, the pillow challenge is going on globally, and I thought it would be kind of cool to have like a Korean funk into it. So that's sort of the idea that I have with my outfits as well. So, and also the fabric that I used for this one here was actually used with the old already made hanbok dress.
I see.
And I just deconstructed it and then made it into a pillow this time. So it always has like that sustainability in it. Also the sekdong that I used for the other pillow, that one was actually made out of fabric that I had. It's scrap fabric.
I love that one, the sekdong / pillow / dress. I love it. It's very, very...
It's fun.
Eye-catching, it's fun, but yes, I mean, definitely you would have only this one of a kind because you work with, I guess, reusable or reused fabrics and whatnot. They're also one of a kind. You wouldn't find them off the rack, the same designs and the same
not
fabrics.
really, no.
That is amazing. What's next? I mean, you talked about maybe... Definitely seems like a collaboration with a foreign brand, but what next are you kind of working on?
Well, you mentioned why I do sustainable fashion or like about that. So I actually know for a fact that sekdong is a Korean traditional fabric and not many people actually use it anymore. So at the moment, there's only one brand who's making it in Korea.
Is that right?
Yeah, and when they actually stop making it, it's gone. It means like Korean heritage is going to be gone when it comes to fabric history. And when I actually found found out about it, it was such a shock for me. So I said, I'm definitely going to try to actually use it more often. So the next collab that I kind of hinted is going to be using a lot of the sekdong fabric because I think it has history in it and it has tradition, and trying to have my own funk in it and then make it something that a lot of people would wear or use.
Right.
I think that's going to be a very good place to put it in the global market.
Very quickly, for those of our listeners who don't know even what sekdong is, how would you describe it? Is it just like a multicolored or rainbow-colored striped fabric?
Yes. Usually it contains 5 colors, and they call it 오방색. So,
Okay.
and it has different meanings that it has to do with like blessings and
Right.
whatnot. And they just wanted to, so that's the Korean fabric.
Excellent. So we look forward to more of your designs and your collaborations. Thank you so much for coming in today. It's been
problem.
so much fun.
Likewise.